Today we're making chiles rellenos, or stuffed poblano peppers. This dish is a Mexican classic for a reason. So find yourself some poblano peppers and let's get cooking. We'll start with our poblanos, and the first thing we need to do is to char them on the outsides. And this is something that we can do on, as I'm doing here, a gas stove if you've got one, or a grill, or you can do this in the oven. Set it to 400, somewhere between 400 and 450 degrees, and turn your peppers a few times. Oops, there we go. We don't want that to fall into the flame. Again, a grill is great. I don't feel like firing up the grill. I'm in the kitchen already. I'm just gonna stick with my stove here, and I can hear some ticking, which means that one or two of my peppers might be a little too close to the flame. All right, so I have 4 peppers here. You want to make sure they're clean and dry before you start this, of course, and use multiple burners if you need to do so. And what we're doing again is just charring the skin. We don't need to get the pepper, like the flesh of the pepper itself, all the way cooked in this process. All right, so we will have the heat pretty close to them, and we're just gonna look for, see, we're already starting to blacken and blister a little bit here. So we'll keep turning these, get the other one in on the action, and show that to you when they are perfectly charred. And as soon as each side of each pepper is charred to our liking, and you can see it's not completely charred, but mostly, all right, some greener bits left, and that's all right. But as soon as each one is done, we will transfer that to a plate and cover it with foil, or I've just got a lid from a pan here that works just fine. And we want those to sit for, maybe 10 minutes or so altogether, just to let them steam a little bit, and that will help to loosen that charred, very outer membrane, the very kind of thinnest outer layer of the pepper skin, which we will be peeling off in a few minutes. While our poblanos finish steaming, we will assemble the rest of our ingredients. So, like lots of traditional Mexican dishes, chiles rellenos are great with whatever you have on hand for fillings. You can specifically make something just for this dish, or you can do what I'm doing, which is use what you have on hand. I've got some hash brown potatoes, cooked ground beef, and Cuban-style black beans. There's a great recipe for these on the channel. Also, some crumbled queso fresco. The other thing you'll need is a sauce. Here I'm using a red chile enchilada sauce. I've got a recipe for that on the channel as well, and we'll put those recipe links below. You could use a green chile, mole, adobo, or just some jarred tomato-based salsa. Anything you'd like will do the trick. All right, and the only other thing you need is a baking dish or baking dishes, because we will put these in the oven for about 15 or 20 minutes just to let the peppers finish cooking and the flavors and the ingredients to melt together. So slide these aside and get to work on these peppers. Get that out of the way. So I'm just going to use a small paring knife. You can really do this almost just with your fingertips, but what we're going to do here is to get just the very, see, it's almost comes apart off right like that, just with my hand or the tip of the knife. And we're just taking this very thin outer layer of the pepper skin off. And that was what the charring let us do. So we don't want to get too deep into the flesh of the pepper itself. All right, in fact, you can, I don't know if you can see that, whoop, there we go. I don't know if you can tell, this is almost translucent. All right, and we're just gonna get that off. We don't have to be complete. If there's spots where the pepper wasn't totally charred, and there will be, that's fine. Just, get the bulk of it. And we're doing this For texture, there's really no other reason to do it, but it does help with texture. We are not going to be battering and frying these, but if you were to do so, it's a different style of chile relleno. Removing the skin does help to, or the kind of outer layer of skin does help to have that batter adhere. All right, I'll keep working on these until we have all of them peeled. And that, I promise, is the most labor intensive part of this whole thing. So now, get my knife, and with each pepper, we're going to carefully make a little slit, just one. If your pepper did start to split, hopefully they didn't, but if it did start to split, just pick that spot. And we're just going to make this one cut, and we'll use this to take out the seeds of the pepper. All right, so you can kind of see in here, the seeds are there. Should be fairly easy to do. I'm trying not to have my hand block the camera there, but there we go. I'm very much right-handed, so I have to do what I have to do. All right, and we're just going to kind of remove those as cleanly as possible. Poblanos are not very hot. We're not doing this for heat. In fact, the membrane, the little kind of long structures here, the membranes, that's actually where the heat, most of the heat is in a pepper. But we're doing this for texture as well. So just like we did with peeling them. So if you miss a seed here or there, don't worry. So we'll carry on removing the seeds from each of these. You can leave the membranes intact here unless you kind of need to cut them to get the seeds out cleanly. All right, and now that the seeds are removed from the peppers, we are going to move on to assembling our rellenos. So we'll get our baking dish or baking dishes. You can put some cooking spray in that if you'd like. Either way, we're just going to put some sauce in the bottom. I've got a fairly thin sauce because it's an enchilada sauce that I'm using. If it's thicker, that's fine too, for sure. So a little sauce in the bottom, and then we're going to arrange our peppers in the dish. And if your pepper or some of your peppers fell apart a little bit in the process, don't worry about it at all. All right, since we're not battering these and putting them, trying to have them hold together in a pan while they get fried on multiple sides, we're not going to worry if they aren't totally structurally sound. They will all go down the same way. And now it's time to stuff them. And the great thing about stuffed peppers, like tacos or enchiladas or something like that, is that you can customize them. So you've got somebody who's vegetarian, use vegetarian fillings. You have a meat lover, put as much meat in there as you want, all right? So everybody's can be different if you'd like. So once our peppers are filled, we can add a little cheese, or of course you can put cheese in them as well. I just put cheese on top usually. And then add some more sauce on top. Again, it could be a thicker, thinner sauce. And we will cover these with foil and put them into a preheated 350-degree oven for 15 or 20 minutes. And we're just looking for them to be cooked all the way through, so you'll notice your peppers, when you peeled them, should have been al dente. So we want the pepper itself cooked a little bit more, and just have those flavors come together. So I'm going to cover these with foil, put them in the oven, and we will see them when they're all done. Our rellenos are out of the oven and ready to eat. I'm going to top mine with just a little bit more cheese and dig in. We hope you give this a try and you check back soon for another recipe.